Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the news postcarded on TayNinhTV with some last events now arriving as well as nationwide. And here are our stories today. Ladies and gentlemen, on July the 29th and the 30th of 2025, the working delegation of the Ministry of Public Security led by Colonel Nguyễn Trọng Tiến, Deputy Director of the Department of Construction and Barracks Management under Ministry of Public Security, came to work at the Provincial Police to survey and guide all aspects of police work for the commune-level police force. Receiving the delegation, there were Colonel Phan Văn Triều, Deputy Director of Provincial Police, leaders of Provincial Police Professional Units, and the Police Command Boards of wards and communes also. In the past time, the Lieutenant Provincial Police have coordinated with the relevant agencies, the departments and branches to advise the Provincial Party Committee, the People's Council and Provincial People's Committee to deploy tasks to serve the smooth and effective operation of the two-level local government model according to the function and tasks of the police force. And up to now, online public services and administrative procedures serving the people and businesses have been basically implemented to ensure and meet the needs. The provincial police arranged a number of officers to ensure that 100% of the police in the communes and wards have investigators to conduct investigation and handle information about the crimes according to regulations, ensuring sufficient numbers, gradually improving the quality of the investigators until they deployed at the commune-level police. The investigation police force initially basically ensures the resolution of incidents and cases related to security and order at the grassroots level. The working group conducted a survey on the performance of tasks of the Long An Ward Police, Cần Duộc Commune Police, and Cần Đước Commune Police also. In his concluding remark, Colonel Nguyễn Trọng Tiến emphasized the provincial police continue to pay attention to and direct professional units to strengthen professional guidance for the commune-level police so that the local police officers can grasp the provision of the law, work procedures to well perform the requirements, and aside the tasks, have a plan to use headquarters after a reasonable arrangement to avoid waste. And on the afternoon of July the 31st, the Provincial Party Committee held a meeting of the Provincial Party Committee to contribute comments on documents submitted to the Conference of Delegates of the TayNinhTV Provincial Party Committee term of 2025 to 2030. The Secretary Provincial Party Committee Nguyễn Văn Quyết, Standing Deputy Secretary Provincial Party Committee and Chairman Provincial People's Council Nguyễn Mạnh Hùng, Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee and Chairman of Provincial People's Committee Nguyễn Văn Úc, and Deputy Secretary of Provincial Party Committee, Chairman of Provincial Violent Front Committee Nguyễn Thanh Hải, co-chaired the meeting.
According to the draft political report of the Provincial Party Executive Committee, term of 2020-2025 submitted to the Provincial Party Congress, term of 2025-2030. After 5 years of implementing the resolution of the Provincial Party Congress, many bright spots have been achieved in various fields. During the 2025-2030 term, the province identified 22 main resolution targets for breakthroughs, 11 key projects and works, with the determination to strive by 2030 to make the province a dynamic and sustainable economy of the South Mekong Delta linkage region, playing a role of a growth pole of southern key economic zone, a strategic traffic hub connecting the border economy with Cambodia. Contributing to the document submitted to the Congress of the Provincial Party Committee 2025-2030 term, Congress in the Provincial Party Executive Committee also requested the document subcommittee to consider adjusting and supplementing a number of resolution targets, consider continuing to include in the document a breakthrough on human resource training to serve the development requirements of the locality, as well as clearly assessing a number of results in various fields during the term. Speaking at the conference, Provincial Party Secretary Nguyễn Văn Quyết acknowledged and highly appreciated the delegates' comments on the document submitted to the TayNinhTV Provincial Party Congress for the 2025-2030 term. He requested the document editorial team to review and observe the delegates' comments. At the same time, the Provincial Party Committee also requested the delegates to continue researching and contributing to the document so that the document subcommittee can promptly complete the political report submitted to the Provincial Party Congress for the 2025-2030 term and send it to localities for research and contributions.
And on July 31st, Provincial Party Committee Secretary Nguyễn Văn Quyết chaired the conference to give the commands and documents of the party conference of Tân Biên, Hậu Nghĩa, Hòa Khánh, Tân Hưng communes and An Tịnh ward, the term of 2025 to 2030. According to the general statement, the political reports, resolutions and action programs of the communes and wards all closely follow the guiding online, ensuring the structure and key content, reflecting the actual situation and clearly demonstrating the political determination of the party committee for the new term. All units have met in-depth investments. The content of the document is relatively tight, close to reality, and demonstrating outstanding results and clearly identifying the key issues that need to be focused on in the coming time. Giving comments on the document, delegates also stated that communes and wards focus on highlighting results that have major impact on the socio-economic development, national defense, security, and party building work. Regarding the system of indicators, the communes and wards need to continue to review and adjust them to be closer to reality, ensuring that they are both feasible and demonstrate the high political determination of the party committee associated with the general development goals, in line with the new context after the merger and the requirements of the rapid and sustainable development of the country. Particularly for breakthroughs, units need to identify the breakthroughs that must be strategic, linked to the potential, the strengths and long-term development orientation of the locality. In addition, delegates also requested the locality to closely follow the instruction to develop action programs in implementing the conference resolution. Speaking at the conference, Secretary Provincial Party Committee Nguyễn Văn Quyết highly appreciated the proactiveness of communes and wards in preparing documents and conditions to move towards organizing the party conference for the 2025 to 2030 term, and the Provincial Party Committee Secretary requested that the standing committees of the party committees of communes and wards fully and seriously absorb the commands to review, supplement, and complete the draft political report, the conference resolution, and the action program, ensuring a tight structure, synchronous content close to the practical situation of the locality, in line with the direction of the province. At the same time, he also requested that communes and wards must be highly determined, make great efforts, join forces, and join hands in building conference documents, demonstrating political determination and development aspirations, serving well the successful organization of the Commune Party Conference for the 2025 to 2030 term. In the term of 2020 to 2025, the TayNinhTV Provincial Border Guard, now the Border Guard Command under the Provincial Military Command, has synchronously deployed many solutions to improve the effectiveness of border guards management and control, gradually modernizing and professionalizing the force, meeting the requirements of the task in the new situation. Under the direct leadership of the Party Committee and the Border Guard Command, the force on duty at the border gates has been constantly consolidated and built in a strong, disciplined, professional, and modern direction. Administrative reform has been promoted, along with investment in advanced technical equipment, application of information technology, digitalization, and automation of control procedures and processing of entry and exit records in the electronic environment. Over the past 5 years, TayNinhTV Border Guard units have received and controlled over 10.6 million people entering and exiting the country, inspect and supervise more than 34,500 vehicles entering and exiting by road and waterway, carry out procedures for over 27 million tons of import and export goods through the international border gates and inland waterway port clusters. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, 96 communes and wards in the whole province are urgently preparing the final steps of organizing the party conference, because it is not only an important political event, but also a milestone for a new development path, a positive transformation thanks to the solid leverage of the two-level local government model. Determining that this Commune Party Conference carries a special mission, being commune is not only limited to socio-economic targets, but also incorporates the goal of consolidating and improving the efficiency of the two-level local government, and thereby attempts to shorten the gap between the government and the people, increasing transparency and efficiency from the grassroots level. The party committee directs the People's Committee of the Commune to strengthen the reception of citizens, the headquarters for receiving citizens must be insured, and the person directly receiving citizens must also be insured to receive the feedback, complaints, and recommendation also. The goal is to completely resolve the problems, avoid granting the hotspots, not to let there be many petitions, routes, and no prolonged complaints. With the advantage of more than 12 hectares of land for growing rice and melons, high-tech agriculture continues to be the spearhead of Dikhui in the next term. In addition, this commune also aims to strongly shift its economic structure from agriculture to industry, trade and services, along with the development of ecotourism and sports, aiming to bring the average income per capita to 79 million Vietnam dong per person per year by 2030. Regarding the project, there is a project Bình Hòa Nam No. 1 Industrial Park, which has been approved in principle and expected to start construction on August 19. Phase 1 of the project is expected to put into operation about 80 hectares, and the development orientation of the commune in the following years will focus on areas 2 and 3 in the following years, and nearly 2030 and after the following years also. The entire party committee has also launched evaluation movements towards about the first party conference. Specifically, the party committee inaugurated the project to renovate and repair the Hương Lộ No. 9 lamp post. At the same time, the Hamlet Party Cell were also mobilized to focus on decorating the trees and lighting to create a new look towards the first party conference. From completing documents to determining breakthrough goals, these tasks were all seriously implemented by localities in the province because it is a solid foundation for a promising new term, creating a prosperous life and contributing to the development of TayNinhTV. And on the morning of July the 31st, the Vice Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, Phan Tĩnh Hòa, chaired a working session to listen to reports from provincial departments and branches on the deployment of digital platforms and the implementation of industry databases after the merger to implement Resolution No. 57 on breakthroughs in science, technology, development, innovation, and national digital transformation. After the merger, TayNinhTV is actively deploying digital platforms and specialized databases to promote digital transformation in a synchronous manner. Units are focusing on reorganizing existing systems while proposing to build new digital platforms suitable to the situation. In its concluding remarks, the Vice Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, Phan Tĩnh Hòa, requested the units to urgently review and unify processes and data and have plans to organize the deployment of application systems, digital platforms, and specialized databases. At the same time, departments and branches need to focus on applying artificial intelligence (AI) in the process of building specialized systems and databases to support data analysis, reporting timely warnings.
On the morning of July 31st, at the Provincial Commercial Management Board, the Provincial People's Committee held a ceremony to award the decision approving the investment policy, approving the investor, and granting the certificate of investment registration for Xuân Á Industrial Park Project Phase 2 to Ngọc Phong Joseph's Company. Attending and awarding the decision, there was Vice Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, Huỳnh Văn Sơn. Speaking at the awarding ceremony, Mr. Huỳnh Văn Sơn emphasized that the province is committed to accompanying the investor throughout the project implementation process, and at the same time requested the departments, branches, and localities to provide maximum support so that the project can be completed on schedule in accordance with legal regulations and focusing on environmental factors. The project to invest in construction and business of infrastructure of Xuân Á Industrial Park Phase 3 has a scale of more than 177 hectares with a total investment capital of up to 3,560 billion Vietnam dong, playing a strategic role in shaping the industrial space in the south of the province. This is considered an important foundation to help the locality attract more domestic and foreign investors, promote the process of industrialization, modernization, and sustainable development. With a long-term vision, synchronous infrastructure, and open investment environment, Xuân Á Industrial Park Phase 3 is expected to become a new symbol for the dynamic and modern development of TayNinhTV in the near future.
And ladies and gentlemen, health insurance examination and treatment procedures are the steps that health insurance participants must take when going to medical facility to receive the benefits according to regulations.
Using citizen identification cards, VNEID and VSSID applications to go from medical examination and treatment instead of paper health insurance cards, over time has brought positive effects in reducing administrative procedures as well as convenience for health insurance participants. On average, the examination department of TayNinhTV General Hospital receives 700 to 900 health insurance examinations and treatments per day, thanks to the integration of health insurance card images on the VSSID, VNEID, and chip embedded citizen identification applications. The process and procedures for registering for medical examination for people are carried out quickly and conveniently. The prescription is over 1 million, but the health insurance fee is only about 200. Since the state has regulations on using IT card and IT codes when examining and treating patients, I find it much more convenient than paper cards. Sometimes I forgot my card. Using my phone is also very convenient. Just open VNEID and I can use my health insurance. From January 1st, 2025, Circular Number 1 of the Ministry of Health will take effect, allowing health insurance participants to enjoy 100% of the cost of medical examination and treatment when examining and treating patients initially, or basic medical examination and treatment at a facility other than the original registration location, which are being limited by administrative boundaries. However, over time, many health insurance participants are confused about the regulations when transferring facilities. After a patient has been diagnosed by a medical examination treatment facility with a disease listed in the list of 106 diseases in Appendix 2 of this circular, the patient can go to the general hospital for examination and treatment without having to request a referral from a lower level. In the case where the general hospital examines and diagnoses the patient and determines that he or she does not have the disease according to the diagnosis for the initial hospital, the patient is still entitled to 100% of the benefits for that medical examination and diagnosis at the general hospital. Clearly, the regulations in Circular Number 1 of the Ministry of Health have created positive changes, creating favorable conditions for patients to participate in health insurance, reducing travel costs and shortening waiting time.
And the mobilization and effective use of the Natural Disaster Prevention and Control Fund is identified as a key and fundamental solution to promote socialized resources to promptly respond to and overcome the consequences caused by natural disasters. In training in the first 6 months of 2005, the management and use of the Natural Disaster Prevention and Control Fund recorded many positive changes with increased revenue and significantly reduced expenditure compared to the same period. Specifically, the total revenue of the fund reached nearly 2.6 billion Vietnam dong, an increase of more than 840 million Vietnam dong compared to the same period last year. On the contrary, the total expenditure was only about 560 million Vietnam dong, a decrease of more than 1.2 billion Vietnam dong compared to the same period. As of early of July of 2005, the total balance of the fund reached more than 124.7 billion Vietnam dong, and to continue promoting the effectiveness of the complete and timely implementation of the plan to collect and pay the fund in 2005 is responsibility of the entire political system and all the people, contributing to building TayNinhTV province to develop sustainably, be safe from the natural disasters. And according to the direction of TayNinhTV province in the coming time, the province will encourage operating enterprises to apply modern technology to reduce emissions, while giving priority to receiving industry that limit emissions that are environmentally friendly. The goal is that by 2050, the province's greenhouse gas emissions will be zero.
To improve the provincial rain index, TayNinhTV is currently making efforts to implement many synchronous solutions, focusing on reducing pollution, ensuring compliance with environmental regulations, and promoting green growth, including focusing on attracting investment in fields and industries that are suitable for the planning, especially in the fields of industry, high-tech agriculture, tourism, and urban development in the province. Selectively implement and prioritize investment projects with advanced science and technology content, environmental friendliness, renewable energy development, circular economic model development, clean agriculture, high-tech agriculture. In addition, with the determination to continue improving the green index, the province has actively promoted businesses to promote green practices in production and business, from small things such as digitalizing paperwork to reduce paper use, using energy-saving technology, reducing consumption, and using energy efficiently in business activities, installing air quality monitoring stations, using renewable energy, minimizing the use of plastic in production and packaging process.
And in recent flood, the people in Mường Sén commune of Nghệ An province suffered heavy losses and houses were severely damaged and all their property was wiped away. In addition to economic difficulties, the people are also very worried about the possible disease outbreaks. The environment is polluted, clean water is scarce, forcing them to use unsafe water sources for daily activities. I'm worried about when the disease will break out because after the flood, the cabbage will soak for a long time. It will smell all kinds of smells. I'm afraid my 2 children will get sick. I don't know if they can still live in the house after moving. I'm also very scared, afraid that my children will smell the smell and get sick. Due to the impact of the heavy rain and floods, many communes in the western of Nghệ An province are submerged in water. The sense of devastation is still present. Cabbage, mud, soil, piled high. The carcasses of livestock and poultry are decomposing, and the source of domestic water is seriously polluted. And these are the environmental conditions that are very susceptible to disease outbreaks, such as acute diarrhea, cholera, and dermatitis, pink eye, flu, dengue fever, etc. The Department of Health sends the best basic medicine to treat the people to remote and isolated areas that are not yet accessible. The area is very large and isolated. The most important thing now is for medical examination and treatment teams to go to the villages to spray disinfectants to prevent the spread of disease. In addition to the shortage of necessities and temporary houses for the people to live temporarily, environmental treatment and disease prevention for the people in flooded areas are extremely necessary, and this is thus not only in the immediate future but also in the long term post-natural disaster. And that's all for today TTV News. Thank you for being with us and goodbye for now.